Hello, this is Lucinda Brown with Bible Buying Guide, and today we are taking a look at the Kindred Bible, the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These are individual books, and we were provided these in exchange for an honest review. Now, I apologize in advance for any glare that makes things hard to see, but these have high gloss photos on the front cover and glossy paper for the pages. And if I didn't use strong enough lights to occasionally get a glare, you wouldn't be able to see anything. So, like I said, these are sewn perfect bindings. So this does have sewn signatures glued into a perfect binding. The really smooth contemporary cut page edges, really thick cover with an extremely high gloss printing on the front. The spines are just really basic, saying the gospel according to Matthew. Now there are currently only the four gospels for this Bible, but they do have plans to produce Psalms, Proverbs, Isaiah, Jeremiah, and 1st and 2nd Corinthians before the end of 2022. And of course, if that goes over well, they'll probably produce more and more each year. These books are 11 3/4 inch tall, 8 1/4 inches wide, and these four measure between 1/2 inch thick for John to almost 1 inch thick for Matthew. I'm sure that 2nd Corinthians will be probably slightly thinner than John, and Psalms will be much thicker than Matthew. The text on white pages is black with these bold verse numbers, really large section headings, and then dark red little collars to the notes, and the notes in dark red. Now this is the New American Bible Revised Edition translation, which is a Catholic translation. For those of us who read multiple translations, or for those who want a Catholic Bible, they're still very, very good Bibles, but these, because of that, these won't be for everyone. We have the reference, the guide verses up in the top corner, and little tiny page numbers on most pages. Now, some of the pages are printed on a dark background or on top of a photograph. And while the text styling and color is exactly the same, this is really hard to show you without a glare, the color is of course different. And the color of that changes depending on the color of in the pictures. Let's see if I can find another good example in here. And some of them are a little bit easier to see and read than others. They kind of coordinate with the background. And there is just a few of them that I wish they had chosen just slightly higher contrast. Now we also have all these beautiful photos, full color. Like I said, this is thick, glossy paper, like what you'd find in a high quality coffee table book or a really high quality magazine or brochure. All of the photos are of nature and natural things, with nothing that is human-made included in them. And this is intentional because they said they wanted to draw the glory and the interest back to God. All of them include, at the beginning, an introduction. That is done in single column with wide margins, mostly on white, but occasionally on a printed picture. And these introductions talk about not only the author and the setting and the purpose, but they go over the major themes and divisions. And at the end of each one, they have this principal divisions of that book, with them listed out and which verses would be included in each division. This is one thing that it's a minor thing, but I think it would have been good if they had included the page number that each one of these started on. So this could also be an index. And right there, I can see, I hope you can too, one of the stitch lines to show you that that is a sewn edition. I skipped over layout, didn't I? That's because the layout changes so much. You've got a wide single column with narrow notes. You've got standard double column like what a Bible would have. There's a medium width column with the notes below it, a wider column with the notes below it. The layout changes from page to page. Sometimes next to the photos, sometimes on top of the photos, like there's the heading over the photo. And there's all the text. Now this is done intentionally. This gives it more of a magazine feel, I think, than a standard Bible would have. But this was done intentionally, both to make this more approachable to people who aren't used to reading a standard Bible and who find that huge block with so many hundreds of thousands of words and 66 books altogether kind of intimidating. This is each book individually broken up in chunks. For those of us who are used to reading a standard Bible, these divisions are an invitation to slow down and to really think about each individual story and spend time in contemplative prayer. They also have these white pages at the beginning of every chapter of every book. Now, I think these are beautiful books. Not being Catholic, they'll probably get a little less use than they would have if they had been a translation, a different translation. But I still think, if you're okay with that, I still think these are beautiful books that would make good gifts or good study tools if you wanted to study the book of Luke, for example. And that as like a single edition makes a great conversation starter or a Bible study, and to have the entire thing on a shelf somewhere or spread out makes an absolutely stunning Bible. If you would like to find out more about this or any of the other Bibles that we have reviewed, you can go to BibleBuyingGuide.com. There'll be links below, both to there and to where these can be purchased. And of course, since we're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and if you'd like to see more of our reviews, hit the little notification bell. And thank you for watching.